For everything good, there must be something bad. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about what was bad about Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Let's talk about it after the credits. Hey guys, Brent here for Geek Variants. This time for a breakdown of what is bad about Star Wars Attack of the Clones. If you are already subscribed to the channel, you know we cover Star Wars, Marvel, DC, anime, all things geek. And if you love that style of content and you love these videos, be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button, give a thumbs up, thumbs down, leave your comments and thoughts below. Look, let's get into this film right away because there's a lot to break down. And first off, I want to preface this. I do enjoy this film. I actually like this film. However, looking at things objectively, as most Star Wars fans usually do, we tend to have a love-hate relationship with things. So for us to be able to talk about what we love and what we hate pertaining to this fandom, pretty easy. And Star Wars The Clone Wars gave us plenty of shares of things that are overall not that good with the series. And Attack of the Clones, let's just start off with the obvious elephant in the room. The dialogue in this film, especially between Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman. And overall, well, we've gotten redemption for Hayden overall with his return as Darth Vader in the Kenobi series. And Natalie is an award-winning actress who's done many roles with many awards, many accolades on her part. Ultimately, no level of acting was going to be able to overcome the cringe-worthy, putrid dialogue that was George Lucas. Look, Lucas has given us a blessed galaxy far, far away that we all know and love. However, writing a love story is not his specialty. He's had siblings kiss, and now he's had the super cougar pick up the young slave boy and turn that into a lovely relationship. That's definitely going to end well. Yeah, well, it's just like sand. It's rough and coarse and gets everywhere. You remind me of my mother. Here, let's go up to your bedroom and get better acquainted. What woman is hearing these lines of dialogue and is just 100% into what is going on? Like, seriously, what woman in her right mind wants to be turned on by this, let alone the fact is like, I killed them all, not just the men, but the women and the children too. Padme, you had some issues, and for you to ultimately go out the way you did the next film, yikes. But overall, the dialogue was just some of the worst Star Wars has seen. We had to suffer through a lot of stuff. There's a reason this film is a 6.6 on IMDb. There's a reason it's a 65% for Rotten Tomatoes and a 54% overall from Metacritic. The dialogue for your love story, which is what this whole prequel thing is supposed to be tying in the love story that leads us to the originals, is terrible. It's just overall bad. You want to look at how you do a love story properly, look at Lord of the Rings. I'm just saying. Aragorn, Eowyn, that's it. Perfect. Done. Don't do it over the top. Don't do too little. Don't do too much. Don't do this cringeworthy dialogue where it's like 50 Shades of Grey-esque, but somehow appropriate enough for family audiences. Apparently, mass genocide is in for relationships. It's not. This is completely a joke. Do not take it serious on any level. And then on top of that, let's talk about Star Wars' hiring practices. And you think, wow, what's wrong with Star Wars hiring practices? Well, I'm going to talk about the characters' hiring practices overall. Overall, the whole thing that is going to stop Palpatine's plan of taking over the entire galaxy is centered around Padme. So he keeps getting people left and right to kill her. First, he hired the Gungans to do it. They could not get the job done. Okay, back to the drawing board. So he hires Dooku to go do this. A competent Sith Lord. I can get with this. I like exactly where your mind's at. And then Dooku drops the ball. He hires a bounty hunter by the name of Jango Fett in order to get the job done. Jango Fett hires Zam Wesell, another bounty hunter, to go and kill the senator. Zam Wesell sends a droid to go and kill the senator. The droid, if you really want to be meticulous, sends 2 bug poison worms to go kill the senator. That's 5 people just sent after Palpatine, and not including Newt Gunray, to go kill this one person to make your grand scheme come to fruition of Anakin being absolutely lost. That's terrible hiring practices, and ultimately, nobody got the job done. Well, technically someone does the next film. We'll talk about that when we get there. And then we have to talk about the level of intelligence that these characters have conveyed. Specifically, we're going to talk about the scene where Count Dooku has Obi-Wan in the floating prison cell, where he's just kind of rotating around and around and around. Dooku, literally point blank, and without any level of caveat, says directly to Obi-Wan, "What if I told you that right now the Republic is under the rule of a Sith Lord?" No one investigated this after the fact. No one went and delivered this information anywhere. I don't care if we're mortal enemies, but you just gave me a piece of information that looking for someone that we have struggled to find forever. And now you've given me a little nugget of information. I don't care if I hate you. I should at least pull on that string a little bit. Pass the message along, at least. Be like, "Hey, Yoda, Windu, something happened. Dooku had me in jail, and he told me this, and this." Oh. Huh. We'll look into that. Probably weird how this meticulously worked out, that the guy whose planet was under attack and under siege is now the Emperor, ruler of the Galactic Republic as the Chancellor, and now all of a sudden we're about to get thrown into a Clone Wars because of a perfect division set up by somebody that he used to know and be friends with. Curious. Most curious. No one pulled on that string? Nobody? I get why he could not pull on that string, due to the fact we still had one more film to go, because everyone loves trilogies, and it ultimately would have ruined the originals to have some kind of deviation at some point in time from getting to our endpoint result. But the fact that no one used any level of intelligence to just survey this, figure this out, and try and make this work, and when this information is given to you from someone who was the former master of your master, I have to specify that. Count Dooku was the Jedi Master for Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn was the master of you. You think at some point, because of the relationship that Qui-Gon had with Dooku, you would inherently trust something Dooku was telling you. And you could clearly tell he's not pulling any tricks, he's not pulling any punches, he's not trying to be anything special. He's telling you exactly verbatim what is going on, and you chose not to act. And one of the mistakes that Obi-Wan has made throughout the series, this might be the biggest one that he let just slip through the cracks. Because ultimately he could have saved the galaxy just a little bit sooner. But in the end, Attack of the Clones in my mind was a good film, but overall, the dialogue on this, the actors' level of intelligence, and the writing being as point blank as it was without any level of shadowing for it, it was simple writing. There was no level of complexity to it. Made a lot of fans feel that this was a bad film. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to hit that red like, red subscribe button if you like this style of content, you like anything covering Marvel, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, DC, anime, and more. We have it here for you at Geek Variants, where you can be your best geek variant. I will see you when I'm back from Japan, which I just recorded this before I left.